Hello everyone, we are from group 3. In this occasion, we want to talk about one of the elements of language curriculum. Before we start our presentation, I would like to introduce the member of this group first. The member of this group is myself, Sherina Yuni Priska, as the speaker, and then Sita Nur Fauzia and Atika Anggela Putri as the person who find the materials and made the presentation slides. So now we want to talk about one of the elements of curriculum, that is testing. So what is the definition of testing? The definition of testing based on NITCO: test is defined as a systematic procedure for observing and describing one or more characteristics of a person with the aid of either a numerical scale or a category system. While the definition of testing based on Tuckman, tests are tools that are useful in a number of processes such as evaluation, diagnosis, or monitoring. So, why test is used as element of language curriculum? Because the test takes part as instrument that is used to obtain the data of student, and also it helps the decision makers to make a decision about student. And what are the decisions that made in curriculum language programs? The decision consists of 4 categories. First is proficiency decisions, second placement decisions, third achievement decision, and fourth diagnostic decision. And I want to talk about the first decision first, that is proficiency decision. So the focus of such decision is usually on the general knowledge or skills prerequisite to entry or exit from some type of institution. For example, American universities. They use TOEFL as English language proficiency test to judge students to admission. Proficiency decisions are necessary in setting up entrance and exit standards for a curriculum, in adjusting the level of program objectives to the students' abilities, or in making comparisons between programs. In other words, teachers and administrators must make a variety of curricular and administrative decisions on the basis of overall proficiency information. And then the second is placement decision. Placement decisions usually have the goal of grouping together students of similar ability levels. Placement tests are designed to help decide what each student's appropriate level will be within a specific program, skill area, or course. The purpose of such tests is to reveal which students have more of or less of a particular knowledge or skills, so that students with similar level of ability can be grouped together. Placement tests must be more specifically related to a given program, particularly in terms of the relatively narrow range of abilities assessed and the content of the curriculum, so that is efficiently separate the students into level grouping within that program. The third is achievement decisions. Achievement decisions are decisions about the amount of learning that students have done. Such decisions may involve who will be advanced to the next level of study or which students should graduate. Achievement decisions are central to any language curriculum. The tests used to monitor such achievement must be very specific to the goal and objective of a given program, and must be flexible in the sense that they can readily made to change in response to what is learned from them about the other elements of the curriculum. And the last is diagnostic decision. Diagnostic decisions are aimed at fostering achievement by promoting strengths and eliminating the weaknesses of individual students. The purpose is to help students and their teacher to focus their efforts where they are most needed and where they will be most effective. Normally, diagnostic decisions are made along the way as students are learning the language. As a result, diagnostic tests are typically administered at the beginning or in the middle of a course. And next is type of tests. So there are two types of tests. The first is norm reference test or NRT, and then the second is criterion reference test or CRT. I'm gonna talk about the first one, norm reference test. It is a test which is designed to measure how the performance of particular student or group of students compares with the performance of another student or group of students whose scores are given as the norm. Students take an assessment, then teacher can analyze their scores to learn about the student's performance in that group. It is used to know how good students in their class based on average score in the class. The example of this test is summative test. And then the second is a criterion reference test or CRT. Is a test which measures a student's performance according to a particular standard or criterion which has been agreed upon. The test is designed to measure a student's academic performance against some standard criteria. Example is the curriculum taught in a course, academic program, or content area. Next is the differences between NRT and CRT. We can see in the table there are 5 differences between NRT and CRT. The definition above cover one difference between the two types of tests. That is, the scores are interpreted differently. Because of this primary distinction, other differences occur in practice. The first is the kind of things that they are used to measure. NRT use general language abilities or proficiencies, while CRT use specific language points based on course objective. And then the second is according to the purpose of the test. NRT has purpose spread students out along a continuum of abilities or proficiencies, while CRT has purpose assess the amount of material known by each student. And then the third, according to the distribution of scores that will result, NRT use normal distribution, while CRT use students can all score 100% if they know the material or skill. And then the fourth is according to the design of the test, NRT has a few long subtests with similar items throughout, while CRT has numerous short, clearly defined subtests. Each testing one objective, and the last one is according to the student's knowledge of the test questions. NRT have two ideas what type of question to expect, while CRT know exactly what content to expect on test. And then next is a different type of decision by Brown. We can see there are 7 different types of decision by Brown. So from the table, we can conclude that the first, there are differences in the degree to which the information provided by the test is general or specific. Second, the focus of each type of tests differs from general skills prerequisite from the program to very detailed analysis of the student's ability to perform on instructional objectives. Third, the differences are in the purposes of the decisions for which they were designed. Fourth, the types of comparison can range from comparisons with other institutions to direct comparison of each student performance on the objectives of course or program. Fifth, the decisions are made at different times throughout the student's stay in a program. Finally, proficiency and placement decision will be best served by the NRT tests. The other two types of decisions, achievement and diagnostic, will be best served by tests that help to determine the degree to which students have achieved knowledge or skills required by the objectives. Moreover, the achievement and diagnostic decision will be best served by the CRT tests. So I think that's the explanation about one of the elements of curriculum, that is testing. It's enough from us, from Group 3. Thank you for listening.